top news headlines from the news desk at the Kittanning Paper right now on radio for your neighborhood. AM 1380 and FM 103.7 WTYM Kittanning Ford City.
What we're looking at here is we have a long-range transportation plan for Armstrong County, as well as the region, but for today we'll look at Armstrong County. Federal and state dollars over the next 25 years, where are they programmed in the county? County's two major corridors are SR 28 and also the US 422. These are the two important corridors for the county. Our goal is to get people to travel safely from east to west or west to east or south to north, north to south, as safely as possible. So when you're going to the pump and you're putting the gas into your car and you always want to know, well, where's the tax money going? These two major corridors is where, if you're in Armstrong County, that is where your money is going. There's been talk over the years about doing a 4-lane expansion of 28 from Kittanning to I-80. I don't know if that's feasible in today's dollars, but we do have money programmed on this study, or on this plan, to do a study of that corridor and try and identify some projects that help kind of meet the goal of that, of getting people safely and quicker up to I-80. We're working with the SPC, Clarion County, Jefferson County, and their regional planning partners. 422, it's another project that has been a goal of the county, to do a 4 lanes to Indiana. That was not feasible, so a study was conducted, similar to what we're going to do on SR 28, and we're going to get a list of projects identified on the corridor. So 422, there's already been a couple of corridors projects completed. Ray Road cut, Kittanning Elementary, those are 2 big projects that are happening. Then we have the Margaret Road intersection coming up also that's going to start. This is a $30–40 million project. So these are big projects being done on the corridors.
So basically you can't do the big 4-lane concept, but you can make them 3 lanes, you can do climbing lanes, you can sort of smooth them out so you don't have all the hills.
Right.
And that's what you've been concentrating on,
right,
or suggesting to be concentrating.
Right. If money could fall from the sky and we had all the money in the world, sure, 4 lanes would be ideal. But when you're working in that fiscal constraint, you got to come up with other alternatives.
So we should see, though, in this 25-year plan, we got to emphasize that we're looking at 3-county area right here and a 25-year plan. But inside that plan, in 422, I mean, you've identified like the Dunbar Dip area, the Margaret Road intersection area. These in green, if you're watching this on the internet. But those are really key areas that we're focused in on at this point.
Right. Correct.
Mm-hmm. So the SPC is comprised of a 10-county region, which Armstrong is one. And so in that planning process, how do you differentiate the planning for Armstrong County versus 9 other counties?
Well, we're broken up into several sub-areas, and we're talking about transportation, we're talking about working with our main partner, PennDOT. And in the case of Armstrong County, we are in a 3-county area here that's part of PennDOT District 10. So really we're looking at the needs and the revenue associated with what we need to do in this 3-county area. We have part of 3 other PennDOT districts in our region where we do similar level of detail. We're talking about working with PennDOT, working with our county planning departments, working with our other stakeholders to really identify what are the needs in those 3 counties and what are the revenue projections that we have for those 3 counties. We look at it in kind of 4-year increments, and this is a result of where we look the furthest out in the 25-year period. We do the same thing on a shorter level plan called the TIP, and that's a 4-year program. And so there we're looking at much more detail in terms of the phases required for projects, in terms of the years required for projects, and exactly when those projects are going to be in construction, and exactly when the public's going to maybe see impacts for detours and things.
The things that you've identified the last few years, are there specific projects just coming up now that took a while to get implemented?
I mean, almost all of these projects that you'll see in our short-range plan began at a larger viewpoint looking further out. So most of the projects you'll see in our short-range plan began with a look in a 12-year period or even out to this 25-year period. As we get closer, those projects slide forward, more detail gets determined, and funds get put on the phases we need to deliver those projects. So everything begins at this kind of larger scale, looking out further, and as these projects get closer, more detail gets identified. So we have 3 stages in this 25-year plan. The first stage is really the first 4 years. That's where we have the most detail on when exactly we're going to have projects in construction. Then the second stage is really like the next 12 years. And those are really projects. How are they lining up for that short-range plan? How are they lining up to take advantage of what we've already done? So you can see, if you're looking at a corridor like this, some of the projects on here will be on our shortest range plan. We may even be in construction like next summer or the summer after. Some of these other projects are a little longer term. Maybe we're looking at a 10 to 12 year time period for those. And then some of them may even be beyond the 12-year period, like what we call our third stage. But really all projects that we look at on this, kind of on this regional scale, would begin with a corridor look like this, and when we would be identifying more details on each of these projects as we move forward.
WTYM, Katanning Ford City, on the radio at AM 1380 and FM 103.7, and online at WTYMradio.com. Radio, computer, or smartphone. Stay connected to radio for your neighborhood.